1987, there was only one university in Uganda, and that is Makerere University, Kampala. And we had observed that much of the training at Makerere was stereotyping the traditional universities in UK, France, Germany, and USA. And we are talking about rural development, and yet we didn't have specialists in rural development. So we felt that at that time it was a leap into the future. We said we should lobby, advocate, so that we can create a university that is entirely focused on rural transformation, design courses that not only will be attractive to the participants, but they will be all relevant to uplifting the lives of the people who live in the rural areas. After observing that, we decided that let us develop a university at a more strategic level. We train professionals who undergo a training program which we call cross-curricular, so that the people can have the basic and intermediate information in the 5 pillars of sustainable development. That is the sustainable agriculture, that is ecology, in areas of energy, in areas of economics, in the areas of social sector, in the areas of culture, political, so that they have a sense of what it is to work with the rural people who are engaged in a multiplicity of tasks. We also decided that we should start a university that can train the change agents and change makers, that if they go to work with the local government, they can help the local government personnel to learn how to design multi-sectoral or multidisciplinary programs as intervention in the communities. So therefore, the African Rural University is not bandwagoning that it was now that everyone is looking at creating a university, let us start one. We started the university that would help people to understand what the aspirations of the people are, to help them crystallize those aspirations into clear visions of what they want their communities to look like, understand where the people are, understand what strategies they can design to bridge the discrepancy between what the people want to create and what the people have. And we call that using the principles of the creative process. We also design a course that is using the principles of systems thinking and systems science, so that the people can know what are the forces in play. Why do we design interventions, design programs? And yet, Africa, with all the kind of people we have non-government organizations doing development work, we have multinational agencies doing development work, we have our government focused on development work in the rural areas, but there has been no significant change for many, many years, even after independence. So we figured that, one, our education is domesticating and it is colonizing. It doesn't allow people to be innovative, to be creative, to be thinkers, so that they realize the realities we are in and look for means and interventions that can help people to take destiny in their own hands. So the African Rural University is a liberating university with a unique course in technologies for rural transformation. It is the first course on this continent that is exclusively looking at the changes that must take place in rural Africa. It is the university that is using the multi-sectoral planning and curriculum so that our staff have an integrated and holistic understanding about development, and we have the graduates who are going to be a specialist in rural transformation. Specialists because they will have mastered the three areas. One, to have a mastery and to have excellence in how to have a vision and help others have a vision and work for the vision and create change. They will have mastery in how to understand how the world works, right from the household level to the community and to the nation. What are the forces in play? What kind of intervention? What kind of archetypes can we design to help us understand what is going on below what we see as events and circumstances, so that the people can be creators of their own circumstances.
ARU model is a unique process of teaching students geared towards rural transformation. And this model is in line with the vision, the mission, and the philosophy of ARU as a university. It is unique in a process where we have auxiliary lecturers called traditional wisdom specialists. These are the people who have got indigenous knowledge to bring all aspects of Ubuntu, that is more of social anthropology. We aim at bring up the student so that the student is grounded on modern systems of education, and also to fully understand our traditions, especially on the side of African values, principles, and virtues, and to expose a student to rural setting, whereby the student works together with the villagers to revive traditional practices, for instance, the indigenous agriculture.
Amajezi gano nkagiha hari obuhabuzi bwa kasifa na desire okuruga ARU-URDT tutayambisa iby'abajungu twineyo emibazi y'ekishaka yo cyabasa kora kwita obuhuka tutiyambise y'ekijungu. So it is organic farming. No muno hona icyo rikora cyona, it is organic farming tinkatiyagama mu mazi y'ekijungu.
We have developed a homegrown curriculum which was based on over 25 years experiences from URDT, which is the Uganda Rural Development and Training Program, that had tested an approach called the visionary approach to rural development. And in the visionary approach, it works particularly around the mind structures, the structures of how people think and how people act. And that calls for looking at the vision of the future one wants. In other words, developing that capacity to envision and create the future you want at individual level first and foremost, then at family level, at community level, and at institutional levels. And this approach, as far as URDT, which is the founding organization to African Rural University, was seen to really work, especially in the rural areas, where it had enabled people who were in a state of apathy, people who had given up hope, and were by and large dependent on external assistance for survival, handouts, create the capacity to really start becoming self-reliant. And this curriculum combines humanities and sciences.
This curriculum allows the students to use different homes as social laboratories. Then they carry out what we call action planning.
Our internship is so practical oriented. So far, we have had 25 students who we have placed for internships in 21 sub-counties within Chibale district. And out of those, they have worked effectively with about 205 villages. But I can assure you, the 25 have impacted on 29,000. They work with these people to create the visions they want at the village level, at the parish level, at the sub-county level. And they, oftentimes, these visions are dealing with issues of health. People aspire to be healthy. People aspire to be prosperous. People aspire for a good life. And out of those aspirations, they look at where are we now in relation to those aspirations. And then together they create interventions. And these interventions, they identify what can we do as individuals, what can we do as a collective, which then leads to the creation of associations or strengthening existing associations. And then what can be done at the sub-county level. The internships are in partnership with the sub-counties. We actually sign memoranda of understanding with the sub-county local governments, each one of them. Now, whereas in the beginning it was a little bit, people were not sure what are these people doing. Now we are getting demands, actually, sub-counties are writing, demanding that can you please send us an intern.
Our role is to ensure mindset change for leaders for proper service delivery. The commitment is to start from the rural villages, work with local leaders, and organically roll out the epicenter strategy throughout Africa. The nucleus of the change starts at the individual, household, village, and then the sub-county, and radiates outwards. That's how the epicenter phenomenon takes place. Development of villages takes the shape, positive impact, and the individual or the household can be an epicenter. The sub-county and the villages are areas of collective learning and action. Therefore, the ARU-URDT community-based epicenter is a place where people come together to learn, discuss concepts, share ideas, and generate energy for focused action.
Tukolera kumaraho ebizibu baitu ati tuwayiga tuyine kukolera kurura nkoku turakurakuraniza yitu yitwenka kandi kuturabagana ha vision yange yinyine kajibagana n'abantu abanko n'intwaro mu igombora.
We have been in a problem-solving orientation, but now we have learned how to develop ourselves together with the people we lead by having a shared vision. You can find a parish chief earning a salary, however not performing their respective duties. But for an intern student who is not facilitated in any case, has managed to mobilize community members for a common cause.
Because they have been part and parcel of the developments in our sub-counties. Tuizire nitutunga reports kusigikira no mukitabo kyabo kibahandikire ningoza kutero muranga omaiso ga mukama wange district chairman gonze ARU-URDT netendeka na nyondi omuhaba atendekero mu ARU-URDT obutasera mirimo ntoyemerezaho baitu cyakuba ikirongi abaisiki bano tukole nabo in our local governments.
The village technologies for creating course, a course for 18-week module, is an action-oriented course which helps people acquire the three masteries. One is the mastery of the principles of the creative process, making one's way of life in the creative life orientation in which the individual is consistently in touch with one's aspiration, values, vision, current reality, and structured tension. The vision is the senior force in this mastery. The vision is the clear and the compelling mental picture of what one truly wants to formulate in the present as if it was already achieved. Current reality, articulation of the pertaining situation in relation to the vision, and the structure tension is developed when one holds the vision and the current reality simultaneously like a split TV screen. The discrepancy between the vision and the current reality is the power from within that, if well resolved, create lasting change. 2 is the mastery of system thinking. By looking at the interrelationship between primary and secondary choices, a larger picture emerges. The interfaces develop, and once the individual or village appreciates the interconnectedness and how each element is influenced by others, this is what it is called system thinking.
Hati ntwareba koko wanekerereza wagamba wewe katutema umwani gube nigurumbirira koko wagwe nigurahuka wagamba katubyare kamurali yatwaburamu kubyare nyanya hatezo zitende nyanya zibugane na kamurali bugana umwani gutwisi ya koko.
The result of system thinking is the integrated development program. 3. Mastery of sustainable development. Given that there are many primary and secondary choices in the attainment of the aspiration, for each result achieved toward the attainment of that vision, people ask, what next? And there is always another discrepancy to be resolved, leading to the formulation of a new vision. The same cycle of the structure tension is developed, action evolves, and this is the essence of programs that cause sustainable development.
I have highest regard for you people and what you are doing. I went back extremely satisfied. Before we know, the 3 acres of coffee says this is the house we used to live in, me and my mom. This is the new one we are living in now. If you don't go there yourself and somebody tells you that story, you will not believe it.
If one goes to the epicenter and sees what is taking place in terms of thought and action, we think the government can take keen interest in this methodology and work together, roll out the epicenter strategy in other sub-counties and districts to fast track for the implementation of these strategic areas, and that will lead to the realization of Vision 2040.